Hello and welcome to this lesson where we are going to talk about variables. And right now in the beginning I want to tell you that if you're completely new to programming, which I believe you are, these things that I'm going to explain are going to be a little bit difficult for you in the beginning, and if you don't understand them right away, don't be frustrated. Just keep in mind and remember that programming is difficult and it takes some time to understand and to get used to it. So with that being said, I'm going to type a variable right now and I'm going to explain what it is. So what I just did is I created a variable with the name number and I said number is equal to 5. So this variable number have a value of 5. And this thing int before the number is called data type. And numbers, round numbers like 5, 6, 7, 10, they are int. And int is short for integer. For example, if we want to say this is first number is equal to 5, int second number is equal to 6, and so on and so forth. If you create a round number, this is called integer. Int for short, this is how we write it, but it's short for integer, and these are round numbers. If we want to say that the number is 6.5, for example, this is not going to be correct because this is no longer a round number. We have a decimal point, and this is making the number double. So we say double third number is equal to 6.5, and now this is correct because the Visual Studio recognized that this is a double, this number is a double, and it's not making a problem. If we say it's equal to if we say here that this integer is equal to 6.4, for example, you'll see the red line here that's saying that the number is double, and we're using integer here, so it's not correct. So we use int for round numbers, we use double for numbers with decimal point. There is something else called float, like that, and it's also used for decimal numbers like double, and the only difference is that the double is more precise than the float. When you're using float, you can put 7 characters, I believe, 7 numbers after the decimal point, and with double you can put 15. So double is more precise. Only the precision is the difference. There is also something decimal, which is more precise even than the double, but I don't want to get you confused. Just remember that for decimal numbers we are going to use double. For round numbers we are going to use int. The next variable that I want to show you that we are going to use very often is string. String we are using for sentences or when we are writing words. For example, string name is equal to John. Okay, and we are closing here with semicolon. And something important when we are writing strings, you need to put double quotes in the beginning and in the end of the string. If we just say John here without the quotes, it's going to make the problem, and you'll see that it's underlined here, because when we're using strings we need to put quotes in the beginning and in the end of the value. If we want to have a variable which is only one character, we are using char. So char character is equal to, for example, C. And when we are typing characters, it's like a string, but we are using single quotation marks, not double quotation marks. And this is only when we have only one character. Then we use char. We are going to create a really interesting program in a second. We are going to make a calculator, but now I want to summarize what we have just learned, and I'm going to write it here as a comment. So int we are using when we are creating a variable which is round number. Double we are using to make a decimal number when the number is not round, for example 10.7. String we are using for sentences or words. And char we are using for single character. Now I'm going to show you something else, which is something that I don't recommend using in the beginning when you're creating variables, but I want to show you as an opportunity, because if you see it somewhere you need to know what it is. For example, var fifth number is equal to 12, and this is basically the same like saying int fifth number is equal to 12. We are using var when we don't want to explicitly say to Visual Studio that this is an integer. We want the Visual Studio to recognize this and to make it an integer. You can use this for any type of variables. For example, var second name is equal to Peterson, and now the Visual Studio is going to recognize this thing is a string. You can say it says here it's a string second name, and we didn't say this is a string, this is a number. We say var, and it recognizes the type of the variable. But don't use this in the beginning. Experienced programmers can use this when they're typing, because it's faster and they know what are they typing. For example, if a person types var and after that array or an object or something like that, they know what are they doing. But you in the beginning, you need to understand these types, data types, and to understand them you need to use the specific type. So integer, double, string, and char we are not going to use, but I just wanted to mention it. We are going to use integer, double, and string, and this is what I want you to write in the beginning, just to get familiar with them and to know what are you typing.